The Grand Palais Royal stood majestically on Avenida Paulista, its 47 floors reflecting the golden sun of Thursday afternoon. The most luxurious hotel in the Palais chain had just undergone a 50 million reais renovation, and every detail of the lobby mirrored this opulence. Italian Carrara marble floors, Austrian crystal chandeliers, and floral arrangements changed daily by a specialized team. Donna Antonia, 81 years old, pushed open the heavy tempered glass door and stepped into the air-conditioned environment. Her orthopedic sandals made a discreet scuffing sound on the marble as she observed. With keen eyes, every corner of the lobby she knew like the back of her hand. She wore a simple cotton dress printed with tiny flowers, a brown leather handbag already worn by time, and carried a plastic supermarket bag with some personal belongings. The lobby was bustling at that hour. Executives in Italian suits checked smartphones while awaiting taxis, foreign tourists photographed the decor, and impeccably uniformed staff moved with silent efficiency. The air conditioning maintained the perfect temperature, and the ambient classical music created an atmosphere of absolute sophistication. Antonia headed for the guest elevator but was intercepted by a young concierge with gelled hair and an immaculate uniform. Gabriel, as indicated by his golden name tag, approached her with a forced professional smile.
Excuse-me, ma'am.
Can I help you with something?
Good afternoon, dear.
I need to go up to the 35th floor, Antonia replied in a soft but determined voice. Gabriel discreetly observed her appearance, the simple dress, the worn bag, the supermarket tote, and his smile became even more artificial. The 35th floor is a restricted area, ma'am. Only guests with presidential suites have access.
Are you looking for Someone?
Yes, dear. I need to sort out some important matters. The young employee exchanged glances with Marina, the head receptionist who was observing the situation from the mahogany counter. She approached with elegant steps, her Christian Louboutin heels echoing on the marble. Is there a problem here? Marina asked in a polite but icy tone. Gabriel assumed an air of responsibility. This lady wants to go up to the 35th floor, but there's clearly been a misunderstanding. Marina assessed Antonia from head to toe, noting every detail of her modest appearance. Ma'am, the 35th floor houses our presidential suite and executive offices. Access is extremely restricted. Perhaps you're looking for a family member who works here? I can contact HR. That's not it, Antonia explained patiently. I need to check some administrative matters. If you could just...
Administrative.
Marina interrupted with a suppressed giggle. Ma'am, I think there's been a big misunderstanding.
Are you lost?
Can I call someone from your family? Gabriel leaned closer, lowering his voice as if speaking to a child. Let's do this. I'll ask our social worker to speak with you. Sometimes elderly people get confused, enter places. I'm not confused, Antonia said firmly, but maintaining her politeness. I know this hotel very well. Marina sighed with barely disguised impatience.
Listen, it'll be clear.
This is a 5-star establishment. Our guests pay up to 15,000 reais per night. We cannot allow just anyone to circulate freely through the premises. Other employees had discreetly approached, observing the situation. Roberto, the duty manager, appeared with an authoritarian air. What's the situation here? He asked, adjusting his Italian tie. Marina quickly explained, this lady insists on going up to the 35th floor, but clearly has no authorization. We're trying to resolve the situation without causing embarrassment. Roberto looked at Antonia with obvious irritation.
Ma'am, it'll be direct.
You cannot be roaming through the hotel like this. Either you have a specific matter we can resolve down here, or I'll have to ask you to leave. My business is on the 35th floor, Antonia insisted, her voice still calm but with growing firmness. Look, Roberto said, losing patience. I don't know how you got past security, but this is not a shelter or a community center. This is an international luxury hotel. Gabriel whispered something in Marina's ear, who nodded.
You know what? I'll call security to escort you out.
Please, don't make this more difficult than it needs to be. Antonia felt the weight of all eyes on her. Elegant guests observed the scene from afar, some whispering among themselves. She took a deep breath, remembering similar situations she had faced decades ago, when she was just a young entrepreneur trying to convince bankers to believe in her dreams.
All right, she said softly.
I'll wait here in the lobby then. She walked to an Italian leather armchair in the corner of the lounge and sat down with the silent dignity of someone who had seen and overcome much in life. She took a small old cell phone from her bag and dialed a number she knew by heart.
Dottore Eduardo,
It is me, Antonia.
I'm in the lobby of the Grand Palais.
Yes, I tried to go up, but let's say there was a small misunderstanding with the staff.
Can you come down, please?
On the other end of the line, Dr. Eduardo Sampaio, general director of the Palais chain, felt his stomach drop.
Don Antonia, are you all right? I'll be right down.
3 minutes later, the elevator doors opened, and Dr. Eduardo emerged almost running, followed by 2 panicking assistants. His Armani suit was slightly creased from the rush, and the sweat on his forehead betrayed his nervousness. Roberto was the first to approach, smiling obsequiously. Dr. Eduardo, good to see you. We were just resolving a small situation. Eduardo didn't even look at him. He went directly to the armchair where Antonia was waiting and bowed respectfully.
Don Antonia, I offer 1,000 apologies for any inconvenience. Are you well?
Marina felt her blood run cold when she realized the reverential treatment the general director was giving the simple lady.
Gabriel visibly pallid.
I'm fine, Eduardo, Antonia replied with a small smile. I just wanted to make a surprise visit to see how the service is. Quite enlightening. Roberto tried to approach, stammering, Dr. Eduardo, we didn't know. Eduardo finally looked at the staff, his eyes burning with embarrassment and suppressed anger. You didn't know what, exactly? That you should treat all people with respect and dignity. Marina tried to justify herself. Sir, the lady didn't identify herself, didn't say. And does she need to identify herself to be treated politely?
Eduardo cut in.
Does she need to prove she has the right to be here, not to be humiliated?
Antonia slowly rose from the armchair.
Eduardo, dear, no need to get worked up. It was a very valuable experience. She looked at each employee individually. Do you want to know who I am?
My name is Antonia Maria Alves.
I started working as a chambermaid in a second-rate hotel 60 years ago. I saved every penny for 15 years to buy my first small hotel on the outskirts. The silence in the lobby was absolute. Even the guests had stopped their activities to observe the scene. For 45 years, I built this chain hotel by hotel, room by room. I always believed that true hospitality means treating everyone as if they were the most important person in the world, regardless of their appearance or bank account. Roberto was visibly trembling. Marina had tears in her eyes. I own 87% of the shares in the Palais chain. This hotel, where you work, exists because a simple chambermaid believed she could offer something better to the world. She walked slowly towards the elevator, her orthopedic sandals echoing in the sepulchral silence. Dr. Eduardo, I want a meeting with the entire service team tomorrow at 9 a.m. We will review our corporate values. It seems some have been lost along the way. The elevator doors opened, and she entered, turning one last time. Oh, and from today on, I want a plaque installed in the lobby of all our hotels. True elegance lies in how we treat those who seemingly can do nothing for us. It's a phrase I learned when I was still cleaning rooms.
The doors closed, leaving the staff in shock.
Roberto knew his job was hanging by a thread. Marina cried silently. Gabriel had sat down in a chair, completely dejected. Dr. Eduardo looked at them all with deep disappointment. You just humiliated the woman who signed your paychecks. More than that, you humiliated someone who dedicated her entire life to proving that true hospitality has no social class. On the 35th floor, Antonia entered her simple but functional office. On the wall, a black and white photo showed a young uniformed woman smiling beside a small hotel. It was her, 60 years ago, when it all began. She sat in the worn leather chair and looked out the window at the city that had watched her grow. That difficult afternoon had taught her that success without human values is worthless, and that sometimes you have to go back to your roots to remember why you started dreaming. The next day, the 9 a.m. meeting would mark the beginning of a new era for the Palais chain. An era where elegance and humility would walk hand in hand, as they always should have.